Hello, thanks for tuning in. Once again, we will be responding to a video requested by you guys. It's called One Diet Plan to Cure Any Disease, and to my surprise, it actually has a surprising amount of views, Jesus. And this video is actually a part 2. Part 1 has even more views, and it certainly has quite a high like to dislike ratio. I think videos that go viral like this are the ones that really needs debunking. I mean, think about how many people have watched these and believed everything that is said in it, and then chose to ignore proper medical treatment for whatever condition they have. It's such a scary thought. Let's not think about that for too long. I get depressed. Anyway, let's begin, shall we?
Are you suffering from a health problem? Any chronic health problem? Diabetes, back pain, knee pain, thyroid, constipation, acne, high blood pressure, PCOD, low energy, obesity, or even excess weight?
Oh yeah, I have a condition where I'm too awesome. Can I get a fix for that?
What if I tell you that changing your food can cure your disease? Which means that if you change your diet, follow it religiously, and get your blood tests done after 3 months, you will not have that disease anymore. Now, you probably wouldn't believe me.
Yeah, you read my mind. I don't believe you.
In this video, I'll share one simple diet plan that was first suggested to me by my guru. I followed it religiously and I cured my thyroid, PCOD, and hair fall without medicine. I've suggested the same diet to hundreds of people and they've all been able to cure diseases.
How convenient. We just have to take your word for it, huh? There's no documented experiment, no study, nothing to prove what you're saying. What if I told you that doing the Fortnite default dance can revive people from the dead? And, you don't have any way to know if I'm telling the truth or not, you just have to take my word for it. Your claim that a specific diet plan can cure any disease is almost as ridiculous. If you think your diet can really do what you say it can, then why not conduct a proper experiment that compares it to a placebo? You can change the world. You'll alter the future of medicine. You'll be crowned as the queen of the human race. Isn't that awesome? Then hospitals in every country would tell patients to use that diet to cure any disease. Wow. Alright, wishful thinking aside, that's not happening.
But before I give you this one diet plan and explain you what food to put in your body, you must take out the undigested food from your body. The waste, the toxins sitting inside. Meaning, knowing how to detox is even more important than knowing what to eat.
Okay, so this is referring to part 1 of this series, and since we're not debunking that, I'll give a quick summary of what you guys missed. There are a few ways that she claims to not only rid your body of the bad food that you've ingested, but also how to detox. Of course. Seriously, what alternative medicine proponent doesn't use the word detox? Okay, she suggested some methods such as intermittent fasting, which according to her theory would promote better health since you've allowed your previous food to digest before ingesting more. Which sounds fine in theory, but your body already has mechanisms that prevent too much food from being in a single part of your digestive system at a time. For example, upon detection of food entering your stomach, your system speeds up any ongoing processes for food that is already in your digestive organs. That way it can make room for the newly ingested material. This is one of the reasons that restaurants are required by law to have public bathrooms. So if you're doing intermittent fasting for that purpose, I'd say it's not necessary whatsoever. So anyway, she does go through some other points in her part 1 video, but I won't go through them all, so feel free to check it out yourself. Just be skeptical when someone says doing what and what is the way to detox. Even if detox is a real thing, the fact that so many people propose so many different methods of detoxing, some that even contradict each other, is already a reason to doubt it. Truth doesn't have multiple interpretations. Truth is truth. If you have all these proposed theories on what the best way to detox is, that should already raise a red flag.
I don't want to give you a scripted diet plan and say, hey, this is what you have to eat for breakfast, lunch, dinner. No.
Alright, well, I'm sure that's what a lot of people who clicked on this video was looking for. What a disappointment.
First, you must understand some basic principles about natural food. If you want to be truly healthy, you need to look for 4 qualities in your food. Your food should be 4 things.
Interesting. Looks like we're getting a bit more specific here. Alright, I'll let her finish her points before I respond.
Number 1, it should be living. See, if you bury something in the ground and water it for a few days, it should grow into a plant, right? For example, if you take a lentil seed, bury it in the soil, after a few days, you'll get a sapling. But if you plant any junk like Maggie, let's say, do you think you'll ever get a wheat plant out of it? No, because unlike the lentil, the Maggie doesn't contain any life, it doesn't contain any prana, and therefore it cannot produce more life. It's a dead food. And how can something that's dead bring life to your body? On the other hand, fruits, vegetables, nuts, grains, seeds, sprouts, they're all living foods, and when they enter your body, they bring you life. They extend your age, cure your disease, flush out the toxins sitting inside your body.
Why does that sound familiar? I feel like Freely the Banana Girl said something similar about eating meat is equivalent to eating death, back when she still made vegan content. Yeah, anyway, let's just think about that for a second. Why does it matter if these things you eat are, quote, living or not? At the end of the day, once you eat it, it's gonna be dead anyway. Yeah, you thought eating that seed would grow a little nice plant inside your stomach? Well, sorry to crush your pathetic dreams, but it's more likely for the earth to be flat. Was I the only one that had my parents troll me when I was a kid by telling me that swallowing watermelon seeds will cause a watermelon to grow inside of me? Yeah, I wasn't the only one, right? That shit traumatized me for years. Look, what humans ultimately get from eating food are the individual components of what we eat. Things like carbohydrates, sugars, fats, vitamins, etc., etc. These are ultimately taken up by our body and used for either energy or other essential processes. These are the things that matter. These are the things that you should consider in food. And obviously different foods are going to have different components, with certain types of food being the best for you, such as fruits and vegetables. But that's not because they are, quote, living. It's because they have good nutritional content. Plus, literally everything you eat for energy was technically alive at one point. Where do you draw the line? I'm guessing you would deem potato chips as dead food, but how much do you have to cook or store it, for example, for it to no longer be alive? And this is by no means a defense for potato chips, by the way. What about meat, either cooked or uncooked? What about milk? What about foods that are processed but is good for you, such as yogurt, frozen vegetables, canned salmon? Where do these fit in your list? Because according to your vague definition, these seem pretty, quote, dead. So yeah, that just proves my earlier point. It's the nutrition inside the food that matters. Don't use an arbitrary system like living or dead to determine what you should eat.
In the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 17, do you know what Lord Krishna says? He says that food should be eaten within 3 hours of being cooked. Because after 3 hours, it becomes tamasic. It starts to lose the life energy or the prana inside it.
I see, so 3 hours of it being cooked. So if I store something inside my fridge for days and days, pull it out and cook it, it'll be considered living? Alright, let's move on.
Second, eat food that is wholesome. See, Mother Nature knows best. She does not make mistakes. There's a reason why she hung dates on trees and not sugar. There's a reason why she gives us olives but not olive oil, potatoes but not potato chips. All foods that come directly from plants or trees or from the earth are wholesome. They've not been, subtracted of anything. Nature has done a lot of planning before making every food. If we fragment it by consuming only a part of it, or by stripping away its outer layer, or by squeezing out only the fats from it, we totally change it from nature's original design.
Okay, you sure like natural stuff, don't you? Just because something is natural doesn't mean it's better. Like I mentioned previously, there are plenty of processed foods that give you pretty good nutritional content. I mean, again, your category of wholesome is pretty vague. Let's take potatoes for example. I'm sure you'll agree that french fries are bad, but what about other things like potato pancakes, potato salads, baked potatoes? I mean, these have been modified just like french fries, with the difference being the cooking method. Perhaps it's the way things are prepared that makes them healthy or unhealthy rather than just the fact that they've been modified. I think maybe you should redefine your categories here.
Third, eat food that comes from plants. No meat, fish or eggs.
Alright, I'm sure some of you watching this video are going to go down to the comment section now and give your best argument on why or why not you should be vegan. And I do plan on talking about this topic more in depth and my opinions on it in the future. But today is not that day, and I'd rather save this topic for a full video. Instead, we're just going to keep going to our fourth point.
Fourth, your food should be water rich. See, there's two kinds of foods, water rich and water poor. Water-rich foods include fruits such as watermelon, papaya, grapes, oranges, juicy vegetables like tomatoes, cucumber, leafy greens, bottle gourd. Water-poor foods include grains, rice, wheat, chapati, dal, nuts, seeds, and starchy vegetables like potatoes.
But you just said earlier that nuts, brown rice, grains, and whole potatoes are good for you. What the hell? Avoiding these, quote, water-poor foods would eliminate so much. Like, what else would you eat that isn't fruit? I mean, yeah, a few vegetables are juicy, I guess. I mean, can I just soak some dry food in water before eating it? Will that work? See, I'm trying to find shortcuts here because I'm a little confused.
70% of your body is water and 30% is, solid, bones, muscles and mass. So naturally, 70% of your diet should be composed of water-rich food, juices, fruits, vegetables, and 30% of your diet should consist of water-poor food, grains, cereals, nuts and seeds.
What? If this is to match the water content of your body, where does drinking water fit into all this? Surely you could afford to eat more dry food if you drink more water, right? I don't know anymore.
Funnily enough, most of us eat in the exact opposite ratio. We eat grains thrice a day, and as a result we're drying up.
Okay, your body has a pretty good way to keep the water in your blood at a good ratio. If you have too much water, then more gets flushed out by the kidneys. If there's not enough, the kidney conserves more. And this is done through some hormone mechanisms which I won't go through today. In general, staying hydrated is great, but your body is already pretty good at balancing your water content. Plus, by your logic, you could just drink more water to make up for the water poor foods. Give me a reason why you can't do that, please.
So in summary, number 1, eat living foods. Number 2, eat wholesome food. Number 3, eat plant-based food. Number 4, eat 70% water-rich food.
What?
I want to empower you to be your own doctor. All I'm here for is to connect you back with nature.
Okay, so for the rest of the video, she goes over a diet plan that you can follow that supposedly can eliminate all diseases. Look, I think that people like her do promote healthier diets. It's true that many people, especially people in the United States, are eating excess junk, which can increase your risk to certain diseases. However, what I don't enjoy seeing is people claiming that you can cure yourself of whatever just by eating certain foods. That's clearly just a lie. You can't cure everything just by eating. There are some illnesses that will depend on your diet, but not many of the things she named in the beginning. Take diabetes, for example. Sure, you can mitigate some symptoms by consuming less sugar, but does that cure the disease? No, it certainly does not. Instead, there are medications out there that are very good at managing diabetes, such as metformin. I wish this girl went into more detail as to why she thinks a good diet can cure everything, but we don't get much from her other than the claim that a bad diet causes disease. And if that were the case for all illnesses out there, including cancer, autoimmune disease, and infections, then maybe she would have a point. But that's simply not true. How could diet prevent you from getting an infection? Let's say the flu from a friend, for example. How can it stop your immune system from attacking itself? What about genetic disorders? If you just think about it for a second, this claim would be debunked instantly, and I wouldn't have to make videos like this. Anyway, that's all we have for today. If you enjoyed that, be sure to subscribe and follow me on social media. Thank you to Fireshard, Daniel Seibel, and Shirkan for being the top supporters on Patreon. I'll see you next week.